On Jimmy, what used to be, I think it's changed hands now, it used to be Bennett Mobile Home.
Yeah, Jimmy Bennett rental.
Oh, yeah, it's past where you, when you enter.
See, that's changed, that's what I'm saying, that street has changed names. You're on street A, B, C, and D, and E.
Yes, back there in the, you're
What
right,
I'm saying, the
you're right.
people that
Those are
get
the streets that
that
turn.
stick pin circle, they go get,
But still, the people that live right there before you enter the trailer park will tell you the same thing too.
I know, but
I mean, yeah,
I was just trying to get to where that.
Right, you're right though, that's exactly right. But you make a good point too, because I think it'd be easy catches.
When you label Big Pin Branch,
Huh?
when you label that whole area as Big Pin Branch, that's not a fair label. In Street D, anytime you ever hear us call Big Pin Branch Street D, Big Pin Branch Street D, Big Pin Branch Street D, I mean, 116 times we've been there.
That's that back, in the very back part. Mm-hmm.
That's the majority of our calls in Street D. They call it Bright Lane.
Lane.
Bright, I mean,
Yeah.
we're dispatched at the same road, we call it Street D and they call it Bright Lane.
And when was the fires?
Down around the railroad track, they set grass on fire down there by the railroad track.
Just recently?
Randy, what's most of the calls in there?
And then there's
It's all
another
been
call there.
buried.
Are they legitimate
Oh,
calls or?
burning rubbish,
Yeah.
can't burn
Yeah.
rubbish. We have to put that.
And it was kids too?
There's no big pin circle all out. I don't know where. I'd have to go look at the report to get the actual house. Call kid out that pin circle.
Oh, thank you again. We continue to appreciate what you do and listen, and we'll have to just think about the curfew thing. And I agree, but I don't know that.
Don't the city of Valdosta have a curfew? I read it in the paper where,
It cures 16 years ago, I think.
I read it in the paper where they had one, because some child had got stopped going home from work, and they said, well, you know, you should have a leniency for people in the work.
Right.
And he was on the way home from work when he got stopped because he was breaking curfew. They were city of Valdosta, or Lowndes County, I don't know.
City of Valdosta.
City of Valdosta.
Yeah, we,
They juvenile, they can't do nothing to them if they can't. Can
Yeah, it would be back on the parents. That would be the,
they're not doing nothing now, so. I don't know what they're doing.
that might be one way though, the parents need some.
Well, you gotta put some teeth in
What they
something.
tell us, these kids are out while parents are in one trailer, or they're grouped up together and kids are running around doing whatever they want to. And like everybody, if the people out there are saying it's so easy to see, then it should be very easy for anybody who's driving back there in their police cars.
Well, it's good, there's a Georgia code for underage individuals outside at night. It's a Georgia law, making the Georgia official code just in there. So we can start from there, go from there.
Our, the agenda calls for a public hearing, but we have to wait on 10:30, because that's what we advertised for, so we're gonna skip over and go to number 8, financial report.
Give everyone a copy of your reports for the month of October. It'll show you our revenue that we've received as of October 31st versus our budget projections. Also, it'll show our expenditures. We should be around 33.33% or less as of the end of October. Our overall revenue is 32.89. Any questions?
I do have one question. Mr. Judge, that's the only contingency, shows we're at 50%. So is that for the CBD project, 50% expended for the
Yes. Yes.
contingency? Right.
date for the county government?
We got a report in from the state on LMIG, but, the county will be receiving roughly $188,000. If we want to put in 30% off the funds for LMIG, it can be done over, I'm saying it can be done first quarter next year. This is the project, we used to do the research and all, now they've done it, they put it back on the county will be doing the bids for the whole 9 yards.
We have to submit these.
We have to submit these projects, we've got 3 bids by December 31st. We've got 3 bridges that the state says need to have major work done to them.
You said we had 3 bridges that need work, and the county has to put,
The state has recommended that those bridges
be done.
be done, whether the bridges and.
You said 30%, is that for the consulting, or is that 30% for the work?
30% is the maximum. In other words, the county has to put in 30% to get $187,000. Then all that money can be gone to construction, consultant, engineering, whatever. It's just an overall deal. They've changed their process in the last year since if the T-Splosh had passed in Lanier County, we wouldn't be putting in the timber. Since T-Splosh got passed,
We have to have that done before June.
no, I think, I'm gonna touch base with Terry, I think we can put it in next year's budget and I'll touch base with Terry Gable, he's out of the office.
That's the biggest.
Well, that's what that was the reason I wanted to see if y'all were even.
You might have the maximum money come due July 1 or after. You're gonna find that out.
I'll find that out.
So we have to have the projects in by what date?
December 31st. I've already got the projects down.
What's those 3 projects?
You got the 2 bridges up on Empire Church Road. You got the other bridge on,
You got 5 Mile Creek, you got Abbey Road.
5 Mile Creek, and then you've got one resurfacing project that we can do up to a mile of resurfacing. And I'll forget with, Bob and let him see which road he thought would be the.
You said 3 bridges.
Three bridges.
3 bridges and 1 mile of surface.
One mile of resurfacing is what we can, that would just about take up all the funds.
So that'd be 4 projects then. 3 bridges
Three
plus 1
bridges,
mile
yeah,
of
right.
resurfacing.
Well, the main concern is 3 bridges.
We have to come over $60,000, basically that.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I touch base with.
Okay.
I also touch base with also. The other thing that I have is the CDBG project down in the Stockton area has been completed. It's already been signed off on. People have called and said they appreciate the project.
Okay, question on the CDD. What's the total we pay for the county for matching funds for that project?
It's probably somewhere around 20%. I'd have to go back and check and see.
I want the total dollar.
I'll get a total. This is the first I knew I needed to get a total.
We need to know.
I'll get a total of what the cash match was and the total project cost.
I'm sure it's a good project for Stockton. I don't have a problem with that. We just need to know how much.
One thing too, in the last couple of CDBGs, at one time, the state was throwing in, DOT was throwing in some state money, anywhere from $100,000 to $150,000. And over the last couple of years, the state has quit putting in that match on the CDBGs or any kind of project. So that's what,
Okay. Also, Mr. Stetson, I have another question for you. Mr. Chairman might have this question. Please apologize if you already have it on your topic there. For the county government, I had a concern for our millage rate. We haven't discussed set the millage rate. And taxes go up or due by 20 December.
no, sir, they will not be due 20th December. They will not be due to 60 days after the tax notice goes out according to the tax commission. I can't help if her computer has gone down and she
Right.
hasn't been able to send them out.
Right, but that's,
I mean, the county can't,
yeah, the reason why I brought that up, because I brought it up here today, but the citizens also need to know that as well, because they're expecting, they gotta pay taxes on 20 December.
Right, well, I would, have asked, or we're gonna ask Suzanne to meet with me and the tax commissioner, we're gonna be Thursday, or Friday. And we may need to actually have a call meeting on that next week, and I don't know.
And publicize it too, if it's a delay, and they do date the taxes, because, like I said, you have people come up here or calling the tax office saying, where's my taxes due, where's my statement? I know nobody wants to pay taxes, but no one wants to be late either.
So, I mean, I think that's gonna be coming up quick, so we should know something.
You just gotta be prepared to take care of ourselves and the citizens, because a lot of people feel like
I
taxes.
already mentioned it to the tax commission, one of the tax commission, that it'd be 60 days after the.
It's pushing about 35 days from now for you pay 20 December, so that's not long.
But they're not
No,
gonna
the
do it.
tax notice.
Well, I'm saying the normal date, normally is 20
But
December.
in the past, it's been due in January in the past, so when they get the tax bill, they'll have written on it when it's due.
Mine always says 20 December, 21 December.
I know that was when it was a normal year, but you have got some that said January before, because it has been due in January.
I think we need to let citizens know if it's gonna be delayed 60 days, put something in the
But we
paper.
don't know, when those tax bills come out,
Right.
that date is on it right there. We have no control of that.
I agree you said 100%, but however, we have to set the millage rate, so therefore we got a part in that puzzle, so we need to make sure that the citizens know that, hey, we have not sent out tax notices, or the tax commission has not sent them out, so therefore, your tax payment is gonna be delayed, and the due date will be delayed, it will not be 20 or 21 December as it always has been.
I'll ask her if she wants to put something in the paper. But I think we'll know more after Friday. I
That'd be
think we'll
good.
have a better idea in our mind when it's gonna happen.
Case in point, citizens wanna know if they're gonna pay more or pay less. You're probably gonna pay more, so you need to know, they need to know. I would like to know too.
We need that before Christmas, go, don't spend the money.
Yeah. Cut the Christmas budget.
Anybody got anything else? I had executive listed, but we may need to wait or whatever.
Yep, one other thing for the county administrator, concerning that pest control contract for the fire departments and the nutrition center. What's the status on that?
I called, Forrest terminating about that. We don't have a contract, so to speak, on the fire station or any fire station. I did ask him to come by and get with, Albert about possibly setting one up or talk. He just says that if we would just call, I think that was, I think that Kevin had some, health issues or something, and so, to be fair to him, I think if we call him now, maybe we get a different response.
I told one of his workers the other day to tell him to contact y'all, because there were some issues, and he needed to contact y'all, see what was going on. I don't know if he did or not.
Well, he was in the office the other day, talking about,
The way he says it is now is a spray in the fire station, we have to call it. So, I mean, we don't have a
We
set
really-
contract.
Probably need to put them on some sort of a monthly contract or a bi-monthly, or
It'd be a lot easier that way.
the spiders are the worst. I mean, they'll have.
That way you keep them down and not wait till they get so bad, it takes so much control.
Well, we try every other one.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine with me, as long as he thinks he can regulate them spiders and that.
Setting them up, get a contract with him. The nutrition, center. He said there, the fact that we share that building.
Coastal Plain does their side.
Anyway, he might talk to him about, he has some concerns about spraying it because of that thing being shared.
Well, it's because they're under a federal grant and they have stricter guidelines.
And it may be something about what he was using. But anyway, just check with him on that too. But, I did talk to him about that. He was supposed to call you.
Think you ought to bid them out, instead of, you gonna do that, or you're gonna just try to stay local? We'll have one pest control in this town, though. See the old pest control we have around?
sometimes the cruise to operating.
Two in this town?
He sold the house.
Chairman, every other month would be good. Every other month, rotating and doing good for them.
Anything else?
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Maybe we won't have to pay.
No.
That's wishful thinking, isn't it, John?
We're gonna, since we're waiting on 10:30 in the public hearing, we're gonna, skip over executive and come back to it at the end, I think. So hopefully. So, under old business, we continue, our loss negotiations, we're not negotiating here anymore. We filed petitions, and I think we have a court date for November the 27th. We don't know what time, but it's be that day, so, lost.
Lost is lost.
Lost is lost. Yeah, excise tax, I think we have,
You have a resolution in there, you have to pass it first. We have a joint meeting with the city as required by law, and both boards decided they did want to enact the excise tax add. So the first thing in there is the resolution that authorizes the county to the city. And I have attached also in there as a share approved by the city attorney's office. It's the same thing we had at the meeting that we discussed, we just need to get rid of it.
questions? Adopt the resolution, please. Motion to move. Second. Further discussion, all in favor?
The orders will have to be at the city next tonight, and signs there. The intergovernmental agreement, if we can sign it off today, then the city will have it for their meeting tonight, they'll sign off on it, do the ordinance.
The resolution is that.
Sorry. Yeah, the resolution is signed by everybody, and the government agreement is only signed by the chairman.
Something else on.
Yeah, the resolution is signed by everybody. Ordinance going off on, we have to pass it after. There's three of them. The ordinance you do not sign off on, no, you still have to come back and present it. Nothing else, y'all, the chairman's on that's gonna sign the intergovernmental agreement. That's it. we'll sign it.
and we'll wait on the ordinance. Okay, so we got all that stuff signed.
Who's on all these?
All right. Then the, next on the agenda under old business was the library board. Had lots of past discussions and continue to have discussions about what we need to do with,
Okay.
to be good commissioners, I guess, to help out with the library.
Right. I have to get up and go into my teacher mode. And it's been a while since I did it, so if I mess up, I'm sorry. Y'all will be sure to remind me, because I either taught all of you or I taught your other children. So y'all know me all my life. And poor Amy, when she got up, I thought, poor man, that reminds me of having been in protective services. I did that for years, a number of years when I came out of college, moved around the state. I even had to get a gun permit to take with me at one of my territories fortunately I was away from this area. So I've been to Gannett. But anyway, y'all, I hate to tell you this, but I want to make you laugh because y'all, I was laughing so much. I ran up here last week to write this letter to y'all. I couldn't make the last commissioners meeting because I had to get a meeting up in Columbus. But when I wrote this, Donna was so sweet, and I was just in your office. My computer, I don't have a printer anymore, and I got to fix that. But anyway, I was over there just going like this, and Donna was very kind and let me and stayed with me a little while, until I finished, because that was y'all's deadline. So anyway, I appreciate that, Donna. Y'all got a great clerk, and I taught her too. So, all you kids have turned out well. And I'm proud of you. And I'm proud of you guys who run for the board. I mean, this is a huge responsibility job. I used to come to all the board meetings before most of you got on the board, way back when Ronnie was on. So I know how hard it is. But in this letter, what I wanted to stress to you, that I actually was racing to get this done. And then I was laughing later because I read it and I said, you went into mode of frantic behavior here. And and I wanted to tell Johnny, and I want Maxine to understand too. Now this reminds me of what Ms. Norton would have done. And I'm turning into a Mrs. Norton apparently. But when she used to get her mind made up that she had to know something or she had to get a kid to pass, and later I did the same thing when I was teaching, honey, we make home visits. We would call and if we couldn't get somebody, then we'd go make a home visit. So anyway, what I needed to know for it was whether or not Maxine would really want to be on the board or we needed her resignation. Because we really, for the last, I just learned recently, I went up to the regional office and I went back over the minutes for the last several years. We have not had a quorum for several years. We've not had board members, enough board members to have a board, pretty much. But when I discovered all that sort of thing, and I've just been finding more by doing some investigation, which has resulted in about 2 months worth of work, what I found was that it got worse and worse and worse as I went way back. So, what I did in September when I started discovering some of this on the surface, I went to the Mrs. Lentz, to the regular, and I said, had to sit down with her, and I said, I was the chairman of this. My mother actually was the person who conceived and executed this idea and this plan for Lanier County to have a library. It became a reality in 1950 because she was the curriculum director, and she worked with, all three entities and all the regional people, so we could have a library. And I gave y'all that, original contract last month to read. But that's our history. Now, some people had forgotten that, especially new people, and that's understandable. We're talking about some old history. Did not realize that we, in order for the three entities who give our library money, and they send the money to Valdosta, is that we must have two representatives from each entity, the three. See, a lot of other counties don't have this particular system. So this was not remembered or whatever, nobody's fault. And so therefore, some mistakes were made that were unbeknownst to, different people and things like that. So my offering to volunteer to pull this board back together, you see, we've got to have a board in order to be able to rectify some of our problems and to give monies for the library, additional monies than what, you and the other two entities give. We have some big problems with our library system right now because we, Splosh didn't pass in Valdosta. So I am requesting, but I want you to forgive any mistakes I've made in doing this investigation. Feelings may have been hurt in my, what am I trying to say? My frustration and the more I found out, the more it was, my gosh. This is falling apart. So that's where I come from, and making a request. Mrs. Lentz, even back before she